of the things that from the Christian mindset and from the Hebraic mindset, where the Hebrew perspective has a hard time with the Christian aspect of things, one of the arguments is the fact that we take things too literally. And we look at things from a very literal perspective, as opposed to a metaphoric, or looking at something from multiple directions. And I'll bring that back up when we talk about the New Jerusalem here in just a little bit. But I'm going to do that with the Merkabah as well. Because to me, when I saw the Merkabah, when Father first took me into this, I looked at it from the perspective of it being just that, the vehicle. And so what does this vehicle mean? How does it work? What are the properties behind it? And it was a beautiful revelation, but it was one of those things that I wanted to see how it connected with me. How does it operate inside of me? Because if the Father has given me a vehicle, I need to understand what that vehicle is and how I can use it in my day-to-day life, right? Not just knowing that I have a vehicle, but how do I use it in my day-to-day? And one of the things he began to show me had to do with the Star of David. As you guys can see on the screen here, we've got the Star of David. Now in 3D, this becomes what's known as a star tetrahedron. And so it's a three-dimensional triangle that has a triangle base. So all sides are triangle. This is not a pyramid. It's all triangular. And we have two separate sections to the star tetrahedron, or the Star of David. One of those is the lower half. Now, this lower half, or this one that's pointing downward, to me begins to describe the place of the earthly realm, the place where we are. And then we also have the upward facing triangle, which is referring to that of the heavenly realm. And so as we see this as a vehicle between the two, it starts to make a little bit of sense, because what it's doing is carrying us from one realm into the other. But how does that work? How does that work in my day-to-day life? Well, let's go back to some basic Christianity that we used to talk about all the time. I remember back when I was a kid, and in all through my life, we'd always talk about us being vessels, right? Like us being a cup. And we'd sing the songs, "Fill my cup, Lord. Fill me up with your spirit and fill me with your presence," right? So from that place, we were seeing ourselves as that of being an empty vessel. If you will, when Yahweh created man, he formed him out of the dust of the earth, and he made him a vessel. But it wasn't until he breathed into his nostrils and filled that space that he became a living soul. So there was if you're looking at it from the perspective of Adam, the first breath that Adam took was in, because he took in the breath of the Father. And then from that, he was able to then return that breath back to the Father. And so when I look at the bottom part of this, I'm looking at a vessel that needs to be filled, because see, the filling would come in from here. Are you following?
Yeah, that's
but
good.
Not only that, but this lower part, I'm going to add another little side to this. This lower part actually spins. Now, it doesn't matter which direction I put here, but let's just say for the sake of this argument, it's spinning in this direction, okay? Now, the Father fills us. See, the Father, the one thing that I can say that I know that the Father always does is he always gives, and he is always good.